Hello, our friends.
Oh, hello there. I hope everyone is doing really well. I know Mike thought about it. I felt it.
Yeah, it's our own little secret thing there. So we're gonna show you. There's a lot of apparent Earth changes things going on,
Yeah.
and we say apparent because we're gonna share with you at the end a message from the Galactic Federation about Earth changes, about pole shift, about the moon, cataclysms, consciousness, all that.
All of that good stuff. And really, it's kind of, when I listen to it, it is a call out to a lot of the light workers that have earth healing energies. So I'm hoping that you guys can connect to that and do what they're asking, with this channeling. So yeah, I mean, if you feel that call, you're one of them.
Absolutely. We can affect our reality. That's the bottom line. And working in unison, we could seriously affect reality. And the powers that be understand this. So, this blizzard that's coming could be the biggest snowstorm to ever hit Boston. As you could see, if you're looking at that purple band back there, 24 to 36 inches. Wow, that's massive. Let's see what develops. They say it could be like 42-inch accumulations in some spots. And the reason why I would, take it seriously is, again, obviously you're better off prepared than all of a sudden sitting there terrified and scared. I can't get out. I can't get food. I can't get this. I can't get that. The power went out. What are we going to do? When it's too late, it's too late. Then you're scrambling, and there's a lot of people in Texas and Arkansas and Oklahoma and a few other states that were hit last February that couldn't attest to that. And hopefully people are better prepared in general with the craziness of these times. But the other aspect that I want to touch on, just to, again, reference things, get like well, maybe for some people a fresh viewpoint, for others just a reaffirmation about what's going on. Do you remember how we were last laughed at maybe back in the 80s and 90s when we would point to a stray cloud and say, that doesn't look so normal?
Or even if you feel like you catch yourself looking at clouds, just saying, that doesn't feel so normal.
Or if you, instead of saying contrails, you said the CHEM and then followed that with the trails. And, we were used to getting Wikipedias, just saying, no, that's just something that's in certain circles,
Yeah.
the CONS piracy circles.
Yeah.
But, here, this is documentation, and this is something that goes back to 1965, talking about weather and climate modification, and this is, again, a governmental paper, and it just talks all about it. Predicted biological responses of weather modifications, means of predicting consequences of weather modifications. It gets into all sorts of different things. 1965, right? So, always, always, always trying to control the narrative, even when the documentation is right out there. And China themselves have said that they want to be able to fully control their weather over their country by 2025. Again, that interesting year there. And they already admit to controlling a lot of the weather. Here, 7 lost technologies from Tesla, Nikola Tesla, that threatened the global elite. And, anti-gravity is right up there, number 1. Free energy. Free energy threatens the whole system. Everything collapses if there's free energy.
Exactly. Then people who have control over things no longer have control. And that's kind of where we need to head for ourselves. It's not like they're never going to give up control. No, we have to make our steps and move forward to take our own control back.
Absolutely. And we've heard of the death ray, Tesla's death ray. I remember a good friend of mine that was in the military and said in the 70s that he was part of a crew that was testing lasers way back in the early 70s and literally blowing away like whole sides of mountains, like out there in Nevada. And he said, way back then, he was talking to me in the late 70s, early 80s. about what he had seen. And he said the technology then would blow your mind away. Wireless electricity. Now, his oscillator. This is the earthquake machine that we were talking about. And supposedly it caused an earthquake in New York in 1898. And of course, people, I got to be suspicious when I see somebody that just started a YouTube channel like a month ago and then is just basically trolling, saying, oh, no, that's just a old wives' tale. Nothing happened. And then you go and you click on the link to their YouTube channel and you find out, they don't have any liked videos. They don't have any channels they follow. Basically, they're a bot that's, just out there to create disinfo and try to sidetrack the message that's out there. And there's a lot of that. Again, so much bots, and then also people on the company payroll, really the elite payroll. As we know, they have a very, very large wallet to fund that payroll. Futuristic aircraft, drones back in 1898, and propulsion systems for spacecraft. This is all fascinating stuff. And also declassified FBI documents mentioning that Tesla contacted space people. And this is just out there and obvious. We've never been alone. Never. You have Werner von Braun and his mentor, and just stating things that are fact. Flying saucers are real. Yeah, and the NAZIS duplicated that technology. They are spaceships from other solar systems and manned by intelligent observers. Some biological, some not biological.
There is that form of technology out there where beings can actually take the live prana around them and make their own kind of ship.
Absolutely, and that's why there's some ships that are kind of, the ships are kind of biological.
They're ran by thought. Yeah, by thought.
Absolutely. And then the ultimate ship is our Merkaba, our fully activated light body that can go anywhere instantaneously. And so we see here these declassified documents, and the Nazis were building these saucers. This is just fact. This is not science fiction. This is fact. And here we see U.S. Navy secretly designed super fast futuristic aircraft resembling a big triangle. Now, this is technology they got from the DRACO again, and, given to them. Usually the intermediary are grays. Grays are used for a variety of different things. They're very, very abundant out there. But these flying triangles have anti-gravity. Navy has been granted a patent for it. There you go. This is all declassified. This is no biggie, really. We should hopefully all be aware that controlling the weather, even creating earthquakes, perhaps initiating volcanic activity, is science fact.
Yeah, by now a lot of us should know that and have that understanding and actually take it to a level of acceptance. Like, okay, it's out there. I know that.
Yeah. So, again, if you look at it in the Bible, it must be God angry at us again. We did something wrong. He's angry. He's sending a plague. He's sending a famine. He's sending a flood. Sending an earthquake. It's just the controllers. That's it. It's just the powers that be. And before we go any further, I want to thank all our Patreons who couldn't do it without you guys. Also, the people over at Medicinal Foods. Do check out Medicinal Foods. They're always putting up good articles too, health-related as well as consciousness-related. And use the coupon code EEA and get a discount. It does support the channel. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all that we could have the biggest blizzard ever, the biggest snowstorm ever. Ultimately, you would think the tendency is going to be towards cooling. Certainly, if we have increased volcanic activity, with large eruptions, especially around the equator, it's going to cool. Now we see Arctic chill is going to bring the first 30s in about 11 years' time to Miami. Ooh, look at those temps. 27 in Lakeland. Wow. 30 in Orlando, 34 in Fort Myers, 38 in Fort Lauderdale. It's going to be getting cold. And the sea is actually frozen in Greece in a once-in-a-lifetime event. And you have a continent spanning Arctic blast coming in. Now, is it all related to the sun? Well, yeah, the solar cycle is actually it's running a little bit ahead of schedule. If we go on down and we see, look at these peaks, they're pretty high, and we could see the two charts here. I'll bring it up for you guys. These are two divergent forecasts here, and we could see we are right here above the higher of the two forecasts, and it seems like it's getting busier. Now, yeah, whether or not it's all about the sun, and then you got to think again, if beings are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, how do we have 2.5 billion year old manufactured spheres on the planet? Billion. What type of technology would beings that are a billion years ahead of us have? Could they change the sun cycles at will? Aggravate them? I don't think it's, far at all. Not a stretch at all of the imagination, when we think of things like Dyson spheres, which, again, there happens to be one out in front of the Vatican.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they love showing that thing off for sure.
And we do see that the space weather, it's getting more active. On the whole, without a doubt, it's getting more active. We haven't had any major flares, but we see consistency here. So, things are ramping up. Egypt records its coldest winter in 10 years. And you have rare snow engulfing Jerusalem as well. And up to 65 inches of snow over in this area of Russia. We actually had, coincidentally, the same day that number 46 was going to visit the area and talk about the infrastructure bill. All of a sudden we have a bridge collapse. Thankfully, nobody died. Now that's a huge blessing, but it did injure 10 people. It's a scary situation there. And the quakes continue, 6.2 over there in the Tonga region. That was a big one. And what Cindy is getting is that this was it affected people in so many ways. It was a consciousness changer.
Absolutely. This changed frequencies, and so many people who are sensitive to these energies, they've kind of been jolted off course a little bit.
Yeah. We found some of our more in tune regulars that have felt disrupted ever since this event. Mm-hmm. And again, we got that there was a lot of artificial flavoring. And here we see an earthquake swarm. This is over at the Davidoff volcano. And alerts have been raised in Alaska. And this one hasn't erupted in 10,000 years. So if this all of a sudden goes 10,000 year event, okay, so something's up. 6.1, by the way, south of Panama. And Sakurajima has an eruption, sends plumes of smoke and ash up into the air. And over at Calaqui volcano in Chile, we see some incandescence. Is this one about to go? Well, we got new activity at 3 volcanoes from January 19th to 25th, and during the same period, ongoing for 17 more. So, a lot of volcanic activity going on. They say there is a contagious form of cancer that's spreading amongst clams. Can cancer become a contagious disease? Apparently so. Blood cancer has jumped from one species of clam to another. And this is spreading among mollusks from the Atlantic Ocean to the Mediterranean Sea. So, it just seems like anything that could possibly affect the food supply is happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that can't possibly be all coincidence.
I'm not a big believer in coincidences. Mm-mm. Not at all, really. Quite the opposite. And of course, we're all still watching the Ukraine. And an invasion of the Ukraine could drive up global food prices and spark unrest far from the front lines. And it's exactly what the world doesn't need. So again, let's put out our intention that those that would be most definitely pulling triggers, hitting the buttons of the machinery of war, wake up to what's really going on the planet and stop being part of the controlling infrastructure of the global elites,
right, exactly.
so to speak. and recognize the need for real change. We don't need to keep running on this treadmill anymore.
No, we don't. We can absolutely change the course and create our own action.
And a lot has been changed using technology, and we want to share with you now. This piece right here is from Laurel, and Laurel is again our contact at the Galactic Federation and the Pleiadian High Council. So we're going to share this message.
We are well. We are measuring the energies and frequencies in your atmosphere, looking for information that can tell us if there are changes coming in the very near future. We are seeing many small groups of individuals who are placed around your planet that are containing frequencies that are very important for your growth. There are different areas that are susceptible to earth changes that might be taken to another level. There are natural earth changes, and there is enhanced earth changes. We can see approximately 40% of the changes that are occurring on your planet are being done through technologies that are beyond your understanding. The underground tunnels on your Earth are partially inhabited by the gray aliens and also inhabited by benevolent beings. These areas are becoming more active. There are braces being made for inside of the earth. They seem to be preparing for some changes above the earth. We are watching this closely. We are not sure if they are creating their own destruction at this time. We do see disturbances upon your planet that do not look natural. We are in contact with some of the entities that are part of your inner earth. We speak with them on a telepathic basis. They said the earth is showing signs of distress and weakness in certain areas. We are hoping those that are earth healers can utilize their energies to help correct any disturbances that are man-made. These equipment that they use, these technologies that they use, there are ways to disrupt them, there are ways to destroy them in the ether so that these technologies can no longer be used to hurt humans and other entities upon your planet. These technologies, although created during the Golden Age for purposes of harmony, have recently been utilized for purposes of disruption. We are hoping to see these changes come about soon before anyone is terribly hurt. We are counting a lot on entities of inner earth to use their abilities to disrupt these technologies that are being used in your planet for disruption, destruction.
The channel had seen that these beings that we know of as the Nagas were moving deeper into the earth, away from the surface. And then last night I had a curious dream in which I saw they were using some sort of technology to create pressure, like volcanic pressure, and block off natural flows inside the earth.
Indeed, this is much how these technologies work. They work in different structural areas inside of your planet. They are much like veins in a human body. These veins that are in your planet can be disrupted. They can be utilized to create other problems elsewhere using the technologies that are in your sky. These entities block off certain portions to try to aggravate other areas inside of your planet and outside of your planet. These constructs are used in various ways. This particular construct that they have shown you is being utilized through technologies that have been buried inside of your earth, and from the lasers in the sky, we are working to balance these and correct these issues so that there will be no harm. We wish that everyone is able to live in harmony upon this planet, for this is what the mother strives to do, is keep her children safe. We assist her wherever we see frequencies that are showing distress. We stabilize these areas. It is a form of communication we have with your planet.
Previously, the channel had gotten that we don't really have to worry about a pole reversal, crustal displacement type of event for decades. Is this still the case? There are some out there that are saying that we're perhaps just a little bit over a year away from a pole reversal that could cause a crustal displacement event.
We are viewing these possible disturbances as part of the natural changes upon your planet. We do fear these things can be used in ways that are not harmonious to your planet. We continue to stabilize. We do not see in the timeline generator that there will be disturbances so large that it will cause mass extinction. However, there will be disturbances upon your planet. These can be dealt with using stability techniques, different healing techniques, and grounding to your planet, so she might be able to utilize your life force to stabilize where there might be artificially induced massive crustal displacement. These energies in ancient times were easily dealt with through beings who are earth healers. It was a simple technology to stabilize the planet so that others will not be hurt. In this time of evolution, beings are learning that they can control and stabilize the earth. Many of them are not aware of their abilities. We are hoping by spreading this information, those that feel inclined to stabilize your planet will do so. This way, any changes that happen will most certainly be harmonious for everyone.
The two eclipses that we have talked about many, many times, the one that was in October of 2017, August of 2017, and the one that's coming in April of 2024 form a cross, an X over the USA, and they intersect right at the New Madrid fault area. Is this the work of some sort of technology as far as creating this intersection of the eclipses, and as far as actually manipulating the actual moon and the planetary positions? Or was this a time frame that was just simply known of by the controllers in order to be utilized?
Whenever you see eclipses, many times there are rituals done by your controllers to manipulate these energies into doing what is asked of them. These occurrences are primarily natural. However, they have learned to harness the changes in frequency and use them to their benefit to further control changes upon your planet. As these eclipses move across the skies in your planet, many beings will feel the physical changes upon them. These physical changes will also be felt and heard throughout your planet. Those frequency changes that you feel are also felt throughout the planet. This is when we need those of you who are able to sense these frequencies be able to stabilize yourselves, to stabilize this planet. We wish for the controllers to no longer do extreme amounts of harm. As the light and information continues to move through your physical human bodies, you become more prepared to deal with these kind of frequencies that are being used to create destruction, and beings can learn to reverse these actions that could harm your planet. It does take time to utilize these energies and control them. It is important that those who are light anchors begin to stabilize themselves now, so that this energy will be built up by the time the next eclipses occur.
When was the moon moved into its position here? Was it at the Younger Dryas extinction event, the cataclysm about 11,700, 12,000 years ago?
From our calculations and what we can read in our timeline generator, this is true. This is a one moment, please. This is a deliberate act to tilt your earth so that some of the frequencies that are being used on other planets and throughout this solar system can be utilized and controlled in different ways. All of these technologies and understandings will be brought to light. They will be understood so that they can be countered. The planet is attempting to correct what has been done so that she might be stabilized even after they take away this entity that you call a moon. If this entity is removed, your mother will stay in place. She is wanting to remain stabilized. After the removal of this moon, all energies that come from other planets and other sourceful directions will be utilized in healing your earth, preparing you for another jump in evolution.
Thank you for sharing. Where was the moon, if you are privy to the information, where was it before it was brought to Earth?
There are other planets that you are aware of. This moon that is in your skies was created near the planet you call Jupiter at this time. It was created, and then as the Kali Yugas began their descent, this was brought closer to your Earth, which caused this event of mass destruction. They utilize this moon to control others, using other planetary systems as well. Right now, the entities that are close to your planet, they are all working with one another to create a harmonious effect so that there is no mass massive catastrophic failures to humankind. Your mother is doing everything she can to balance out her energies so that her children may continue to help her and stabilize her. This channel is becoming weak.
So that was Laurel again, Galactic Federation, played in High Council, and hopefully you guys got something from that.
Right. Anyone who feels drawn to this, if you're thinking, is that something I can do? Then the answer is yes, it's something you can do. You're being called forward to help stabilize the unsure energies that we're walking through now.
Absolutely. So if you have time to, do it in any way, shape, or form that feels good. Before doing this video and between people, I was blessed with a little time, so I just went out in the backyard and was facing the sun, did mantras, and was just visually draw light into the earth. Beautiful. You could view it as whatever hits you really on the inside. As far as colors are different frequencies. If you're looking at a violet light, that's the highest visible frequency. So very spiritual. Or a golden light. Golden light can seal out negative influences. For your own personal health, use something vibrant and green. Visualize yourself like encapsulated in a vibrant green color. Or if you have any sort of aches and pains, you can visualize yourself surrounded in a sky blue. And that'll help cool and soothe and calm those aches and pains.
Right. So, it's a matter of, do you feel the calling? And the more we can stabilize ourselves and heal ourselves, the more it's going to help the planet. It's a very symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, again, as there are trillions of cells and different things living inside your body, and you are a universe to it and them, it's the same thing with us on Earth. We're each a cell in this planet. And the control system is operating like a raging cancer. So it will be dissolved and destroyed. They know they only have so much time as we raise up in consciousness. As always, guys, much love. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.